Two friends went on a recreational dive in the Anhumas Abyss Cave. They were excited as they rappelled 236 feet down into the cave to explore the blue waters of the Anhumas Abyss. After reaching the 100-foot mark, one of the divers suddenly started going deeper uncontrollably. What could have happened to him? Why did he descend deeper than they agreed? The Anhumas Abyss, a stunning cave, is located in the serene small city of Bonito, nestled in the countryside of Brazil, which has, over the years, transformed into one of the most significant and expansive ecotourism hotspots in South America. To gain access to the cave, visitors must navigate a narrow opening in the rock surface, as there are no established stairs for their descent. The only means of entry is through vertical techniques like rappelling. The lake that lies within the depths of the Anhumas Abyss is an impressive natural wonder that is approximately 262 feet deep and is at the bottom of the 236-foot deep cave. That is equivalent to the height of a towering building with 26 floors. The descent lasts about 5 minutes. Once visitors reach the end of the rappelling experience, they will find themselves standing on a floating deck that has been built over the serene lake. The lake's water has above-average visibility, allowing visitors to gaze in wonder at the speleothems such as cones, stalactites, and stalagmites that have formed over the years. Scuba divers do find Anhumas Abyss to be a most exhilarating experience, as they can explore the underwater world of the lake. The lake inside the Anhumas Abyss Cave is known for having an average water temperature of 18 degrees Celsius. It's a place where the sun's rays only penetrate the water's surface for a brief time each day, yet the water is teeming with a vast array of marine life, including huge schools of fish. Alex Stewart is a 24-year-old resident of New York, and he has always had a profound love for the outdoors, which began at a very young age. As a child, he would spend most of his free time indulging in his favorite outdoor activities, such as snowboarding and mountain biking, both of which fueled his passion for adventure and exploration. His childhood friend, Zane Armstrong, who was 25 at the time, also shared the same passion. As fate would have it, Alex's aunt, Lucy, and Zane's family resided in the beautiful city of Bonito, Brazil. From the moment Alex visited this breathtakingly beautiful location, he was completely taken aback by the tales and pictures of the Anhumas Abyss, and he knew that this was something he had to experience for himself. Thus, it was at the top of his bucket list. In 2012, Alex and Zane began their journey to become certified scuba divers, dedicating their time and energy to completing numerous courses over the next 9 months. Eventually, they achieved the coveted certification to dive up to 100 feet. Alex and Zane were now fully equipped with the necessary equipment and training to embark on their long-awaited journey to explore the Anhumas Abyss. Alex's aunt Lucy had planned a retirement party in Bonito. She invited Alex and Zane, and for them this was not just a chance to honor their aunt's achievements, but also an opportunity to cross an item off their bucket list, diving in the stunning Anhumas Abyss. They had made reservations in advance because this is required, as daily visits to the abyss were limited to 2 groups of 8 participants. With this in mind, they planned their trip, taking care to ensure they had all the necessary equipment and supplies for this dive. Despite their excitement, Alex and Zane were committed to staying within their zone and had no intention of embarking on a complicated or overly deep dive. So they decided to limit their dive to a depth of 100 feet, which was well within the limits of their certification. After all, this was a recreational dive, and they wanted to enjoy the experience without putting themselves in harm's way. On Friday, Alex and Zane landed at the airport and headed to Aunt Lucy's place. As the party came to an end, Alex reminded his aunt that he and Zane were planning to dive into the Anhumas Abyss. She wished them luck and reminded them to be careful. They arrived at Zane's grandma, who lived in the neighborhood closer to the cave, on Saturday evening. She was thrilled to see them. The plan was to take a look at the cave on Sunday, dive on Monday, and go back to New York on Tuesday. On Monday at 6 a.m., they drove to the cave in high spirits, excited to explore the Anhumas Abyss. Before descending, they carefully went over their dive plan to ensure that they agreed. Finally, at around 8 a.m., they began their descent into the cave, rappelling down 24 stories through a tiny opening at the top. The descent was terrifying, but once they reached the bottom, they were rewarded with an incredible sight. The underground lake was filled with sunlight, casting an amazing glow on the crystal-clear water. Huge schools of fish swam around them, their movements creating mesmerizing patterns in the water. They suited up and began the dive. As they explored deeper into the lake, they reached a depth of 100 feet, where Zane, who was wearing a dive computer, signaled to Alex to stop. Alex indicated that he was okay, and when Zane motioned that they should start ascending, he agreed. But before they could start ascending, they both stopped to watch as a school of fish circled them. The fish seemed almost curious, their eyes locking stares with the divers. Alex became momentarily distracted by the surreal scene, but soon the fish were gone, disappearing into the depths of the lake. He wanted to begin the ascent. Zane looked around for Alex and noticed his friend had dropped below him, still sliding deep into the water. He was confused. They had planned to go only this far and then return to the surface, so Alex's continued descent took Zane by surprise. To go deeper, they would require more training, specialized equipment, and gas mixtures. Going deeper means they are at risk of nitrogen narcosis. Zane began following Alex down, aware they were well past their limits and into territory where the oxygen in their tanks turned toxic and could cause seizures, and they would start to be at the risk of nitrogen narcosis, where the nitrogen they were breathing caused disorientation. By the time he hit 120 feet, Zane was still 26 feet above Alex and made the desperately difficult decision to stop and swim for the surface. Alex continued further and further down into the deep until he was swallowed by the darkness. When Zane resurfaced, he was in shock at what had just happened and was very worried about his friend. Unfortunately, there was no technical diver on site, so he had to get in touch with the local authorities above. After about 30 minutes, 2 rescue divers arrived to the scene and met with Zane. He told them about their diving plan and that his friend had dived deeper than the recreational mark. They quickly rappelled into the cave. The team was made up of 2 leading experts from Brazil. They are certified technical divers who have done several rescue dives. After suiting up, they dived into the blue waters of the Anhumas Abyss. After several searches of different parts of the cave, a body was found deep within the cave. It was identified as Alex. His body was located in a dangerous section of the cave at 213 feet deep, where massive sediments had accumulated, reducing visibility. The recovery operation had to be suspended due to the significant reduction in visibility. The likelihood of losing one's way was significantly increased in such situations, making the recovery mission nearly impossible. The recovery team carefully considered their options and decided to carry out the mission the next day, when visibility was expected to be clearer. The next day, the visibility had indeed improved, and the recovery operation resumed. The divers descended into the deep. It was easy to locate the body since they had been there before. When they located Alex's body, they proceeded to bring it to the surface. It was a bittersweet moment for everyone involved, as they were relieved to have found him, but devastated by the loss of a precious life. An autopsy was conducted on Alex's body, revealing that he had an underlying heart condition that no one was aware of. This discovery was shocking for his family and close friends, including Zane. It was a reminder of how fragile life can be and how little control we have over our fate. Despite the tragedy, there was some consolation in the fact that Alex had died doing what he loved the most. He was a passionate diver who had always been drawn to the ocean's depths, and he had lived his life to the fullest. It was a small comfort for those left behind, but it was a reminder of the importance of pursuing one's passions and living life to the fullest. We would like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching, take a dive on the like and subscribe buttons and hit the bell icon so you get notified when we come back with another exciting cave diving story.